Nerd Reactor, roll out.
What's up, Reactorize? John here, and I'm here to talk about Bumblebee. And Bumblebee is a spin-off film of the Transformers film, and it stars Bumblebee, the lovable robot that can turn into a Camaro. And for this movie, he transforms into a bug, a Volkswagen Beetle. But yeah, in this movie, it's pretty much kind of a prequel to the Transformers film. It takes place in the 80s, and you have Haley Steinfeld, who plays Charlie, and you also have John Cena, who plays Agent Burns, but you really can't see him in the movie, so what's the point of casting him? So Charlie discovers this bug, and sooner or later, she tries to fix it, and she finds out it's Bumblebee, and it's very similar to like the first Transformers movie with Shia LaBeouf, Sam Witwicky discovering Bumblebee, and it's just going on this adventure of like what's going on, and then we also get to find out the origin of how Bumblebee came to the planet Earth, and with that you have the introduction to prologue of the Battle of Cybertron, or you call it the Fall of Cybertron, with Optimus Prime and gang going up against Shockwave, Soundwave, and the rest. And this is a really cool battle. Something that fans of Transformers and fans of G1 Transformers would love. Just seeing it on the big screen with the characters' iconic look. Because Soundwave looks just like Soundwave. Shockwave looks like Shockwave. And Shockwave, you can see him, like a tease of him just leading the Decepticons. So that's cool if you're a Shockwave fan. And for Soundwave fans, he does talk, and he's got a very small line, but he's got that Soundwave sound, talk, dialogue. So Soundwave, very robotic. So I was very excited when I saw that. And so yeah, Bumblebee. All the characters, I loved all the characters. They're all great. Like Charlie and Charlie's, I guess, love interest, you can say, and Charlie's family. They're all just likable characters. They're just doing their thing. There's some drama, and then you also have John Cena's character, and he's pissed off. He wants to take down these Transformers, and he has valid reasons why too. So when you're watching the movie, you're like, I can see where it's coming from. And so everyone has like their motives and their reasons, and sometimes like you're like, no, don't do that. So you're really in the thick of things. You're in the middle. You're watching this. So with Bumblebee, you have two new Decepticon villains, and they're triple changers. So it's pretty cool to see one change into a car and into a plane, a fighter jet, and then another one into a helicopter and a car. And in the movie, they do show like some really cool action sequences of just Transformers fighting and then transforming to get some speed, and then transforming back again. Like we really don't get to like see like these cool visuals in the previous films, and it's cool to see like the robots change back and forth like that in this film. So I really enjoyed the action sequences, and there are some scenes that do remind me of those Michael Bay shots, especially with like the main character running as the robots are fighting in the background. But here, it's not as like you can actually see kind of what's going on, and the camera's not like shaking as much. And then the heart of the movie is Bumblebee and Charlie. So seeing them together, you really fall for like the relationship between these two characters, and they're there for each other. They help each other out, and it's very much mirroring Sam Witwicky and Bumblebee's relationship. Like they care for each other. So yeah, this is who Bumblebee is. Like he cares for like the people that pretty much cares about him and aren't dicks about it. And as for the robots, Bumblebee, even this one, he still has that look of the Bumblebee from the Transformers films. But this one, he has the aesthetic of the bug that he transforms into. So you can still tell, like, oh, that's part of this. That's part of this hood. Those are the headlights. and so it's less of the gears showing, and it's just more of the outer shell, just being part of his body. And I'm a big fan of that, just because I like knowing that these are Transformers, and they still look robotic, but then you can still tell like that's what they're supposed to transform into. And I kind of miss that, especially when you've been raised with that with the cartoons and seeing like this is how they look like, instead of looking like insects or something else entirely, kind of like how the Decepticons look like in the live action. And so yeah, that's just good for the G1 fans, and I still think it looks great for even if you're not a G1 fan, you watch it, you still like their look. The next thing I want to talk about, since the film takes place in the 80s, you're gonna have 80s music, you're gonna have 80s pop culture and 80s film stuff being played, and this is pretty much like a love letter to the 80s, kind of like how Ready Player One was a love letter to the 80s. This one is just like that, and it's if you're a fan of like the John Hughes movies, Breakfast Club, you're definitely gonna enjoy this movie. And this one has all of that throughout, and I was just so happy just hearing these songs being played, and especially with Bumblebee. Bumblebee, when he talks in the previous films, he would talk through the radio, and here he does have a radio, but then since it's in the 80s, he has a cassette tape player, and I thought that was genius. Very funny. So yeah, Bumblebee is coming out this month in December. Out of all those movies, Bumblebee, Aquaman, Spider-Man Into the Verse, those are like the three big ones, and I've enjoyed all three of them. I've enjoyed Aquaman, I've enjoyed Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, really enjoyed that, and Bumblebee. But I would have to rank Spider-Man up on top of number one, just because all the characters, Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, and Miles Morales, very fun to watch. Just the humor is just non-stop, and that really put a smile on my face. But then second place, I'll put Bumblebee. It's a great movie, and it's heartfelt. And then Aquaman would be like third place. Jason Momoa, I love him as Aquaman, but there are certain scenes that I had a problem with. But yeah, but watch all those three movies if you can. I highly recommend them all. I had fun. December, it's a great time. Great time to be a fan of giant robots, of a man who could swim underwater, and of a guy who could web swing across the city. So yeah, Bumblebee, great movie, very fun, and very heartfelt. So check it out. With that said, thanks for watching this video. I'm John, and I'll see you guys next time.